Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick number 29 of my top 31 favorite power trios of all time. We're doing this each and every day throughout the month of July, where I'm going to be picking my favorite, not best, not most well known. Some of them might be, but my favorites. We do still have a handful of people who just can't seem to grasp that concept that these are my favorites. And how dare I choose these obscure bands over the more popular ones that people know about. Well, shame on me for doing that, right? Shame on me for not picking my absolute favorites. I'm such a bad guy. Anyway, number 29. This is a very short-lived band, but a very important one in the history of early heavy metal, certainly stoner rock. Their debut came out in 1970. They released their second album in 1971. They started out as a power trio, eventually added a second guitarist briefly before they split up for many, many years and came back a little bit ago once again as a trio. But the band is Sir Lord Baltimore. That's right. Comprised of the original trio is John Garner on drums and lead vocals, Louis Dombra on guitars, and Gary Justin on bass. That was the lineup for the first album, which was called Sir Lord Baltimore, which is basically this one right here. A really, really great album. Kingdom Come, not Sir Lord Baltimore. Their second album was Sir Lord Baltimore. This is Kingdom Come, their debut. Great stuff. I mean, this is a big, riffy, heavy, ballsy album. This band, of course, from New York City. And they, for 1970, this is one of the heavy albums of that time period. Most people talk about, obviously Zeppelin's first two albums and the first Sabbath album and the first Uriah Heep album and In Rock by Deep Purple as some of the great early heavy rock albums of that time. But Sir Lord Baltimore's debut album, just as heavy, if not heavier than any of those. Heavy, kind of on like similar, like the first Budgie album, which also came out right around this same time. Really, really big, booming, beefy guitar riffs, big fat bass lines, right? Energetic vocals, big pounding drums. You got songs on here like Master Heartache, Lady of Fire, Kingdom Come, I Got a Woman. Hellhound is just absolutely terrific. Go check out Hellhound. What a great riff in that. Helium Head. Just the whole album, just really, really great. Here, let me show you what the inside here looked like. There's the trio right there. Not a lot of acclaim for this band. This album didn't really sell well. I mean, it just barely dented the Billboard Top 200, and then, the second album, which is the self-titled album, just basically faded into obscurity, and as did the band. Again, they added the second guitar player here, but it was the first album with just the original trio that I think created the most monstrous, the most effective music for this band. I mean, it's truly, if you love like early hard rock, early proto-metal type stuff, if you like that kind of real, kind of underground heavy stuff from the early 70s, you got to check this out. Kingdom Come by Sir Lord Baltimore. What a great power trio. And one of the most important bands. This is a cool little box set, by the way, where you get all three of the albums plus a kind of cool poster. All right. Pretty neat stuff. Highly recommend these guys if you haven't heard them before. Again, really important band in the kind of history of heavy rock, stoner rock, that sort of thing. If you listen to these albums and you're familiar with some of the stoner rock bands that are out there today, which are basically this kind of combination of kind of like biker rock and doom type of thing, you're going to hear all sorts of elements in these albums that you're like, oh yeah, I bet you a lot of these bands got something from these guys. Definitely one of the undiscovered greats of the early 70s of the heavy bands that were out at the time. Sir Lord Baltimore. That is by pick number 29 for today on my countdown of my favorite 31 power trios of all time. The original lineup of Sir Lord Baltimore. Check it out. If you haven't listened to them, go listen. report back, let us know what you think. But also, most importantly, please list your pick for today, day 29, as we count down our favorites, our favorite power trios of all time. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in just a little bit for album homework assignment. And then we've got, of course, tomorrow, no Hudson Valley Squares tomorrow because it is July 4th here in the States, so everybody's going to be off doing their thing, but I'm going to be doing a live show at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night, so stay tuned for that. You'll have me for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, something like that. So bring your questions and all that sort of stuff, and we'll do a little Q&A, and we'll see you then. All right, I am Pete Pardo. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.